Uh,
Here we are.
Yeah, hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with a couple of nerds today. I am lucky enough to be sitting here with WebDM, guys. You guys have been bugging me to no end to get these guys on. I sold my soul. I made a pact with a patron, all of them, I think, and I got them. So I guess you guys don't really need an introduction. I think pretty much everyone here knows who you guys are. Pruitt, Jim Davis. It's
Hey,
awesome you
how's it
guys have come
going?
on.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. If I
Glad
was
to
any
see
better,
everybody out there. Glad to join us.
yeah, and there is a bunch of them already. They're coming. The chat's filling up. People have been asking questions since sometime yesterday afternoon over on our Patreon. So
Sweet.
really excited for this. And then and we also the rumor is we got some other stuff in the works that I don't think we can talk about yet. But
Oh,
so that'll be fun. You guys this may not be the first WebDM Nerdarchy team up you guys get to see.
nice.
Yeah.
Unless Pruitt gets eaten by a ghost. There has been a rumor that could happen.
Right.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Because you were just telling me before we started that you're in a hospital on a closed floor that is rumored to be haunted.
Yes. I'm at work today because I'm stupid and didn't ask off for this because I'm dumb. So, there's that. But, yes, I'm on a closed floor here, and there is quite a lot of speculation of the ghost of Westlake. So some people have claimed to see it. The descriptions are always similar, but once that information gets out, you never know. People are just repeating what they heard before. But, yeah, I might get eaten by a ghost, so send a cleric, please. A young priest and an old priest, if possible.
That's funny. Brian Smith just asked, "Is Nick Fury summoning all the D&D YouTubers?"
Good. I joined Nick Fury's team.
Yeah, I could get down with that for sure.
Initiative, motherfucker! Do you roll it?
I don't know exactly what we could do to help whatever the problem is, but
We could argue about it. We could pick over the minutia of it.
Yeah. The world's in danger.
I'm just imagining a D&D game where Nick Fury is the DM. So, especially Samuel L. Jackson as the DM, I think that would be pretty special.
Yeah, that would be good. Well, there is the Ice-T reads D&D, so that was pretty classic too.
Yeah.
I think that's a little sampling of what you would get.
A little bit.
Only you get more Mother Effers.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Dexterity save, mother effer. Do you roll it?
Good stuff. So one of the things I would like to hear about.
Yes.
I don't know about the fans. If they want to ask their questions, they're just going to have to get their own YouTube channel and make their own packs with a Warlock patron. I want to hear the origin of WebDM, how you guys got started.
Oh, okay. Well, I can definitely help out with a lot of that because at the time, this would have been probably about maybe, what Jim, 4 or 5 months before we started the show?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 months before we started the show.
Okay, so the thing is, I was living with Travis Bowles, our production guy, Trav. We talk to him all the time. You see him on the show if you watch. But me and him we were discussing that he wanted to shoot anything on YouTube because his current job is in the production field of producing content for YouTube. So he already had the tools in place. He had the cameras. He had everything he needed. He wanted to do something that he liked, though. And so we had been kicking back and forth different ideas. On the way home one day from work, I was thinking about asking Jim Davis a question about D&D, and it just popped in my head. Like, literally, it was just like, man, if there was only, like, WebDM. And it was just like, oh, my God. And then I got home, and I'll never forget this. I walked into Travis's office, and I'm like, Travis, you ready? WebDM. And he just looks at me, and he was like, were you and Jim just talking about D&D? And I was like, yep. I asked Jim questions all the time because he's my DM. I'm the PC, and I just need to talk things out sometimes. And when I talk with Jim Davis, it's clear. And so that's literally how it started. And then it was within like 4 months that we were shooting our first shows, and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, from my perspective, we were at I think we were at Mulligan Christmas maybe, or some. It was we were some kind of get together, and you and Trav approached me with it, and we're just like, hey, what about this? It's a talk show, sort of like Inside Baseball, but for D&D, where the two of us just sort of, go nuts on camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was instantly hooked. I love to be in front of a camera. I love an audience. And I'm a huge ham. And so to me, it was just like, oh, what? You're going to let me talk about my favorite subject in the world on camera for other nerds? It's like, I'm sold. What do I want to do? What do I have to do? Just a second, I'm being passed a glass of water. Thank you so
Pass down from on high, from the Grand Emma.
Yeah, see, Jim's got people.
Emma. So that was my perspective, and then we brainstormed a bit, and that was when I realized that people were on YouTube talking about D&D, which just like blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know this was a thing at all. So it's been that's where I came in. I'm just the talent. I don't really know what goes on behind it.
Isn't that weird? Because we were talking about that a little bit. I was the same way. I was like forums and stuff. I wasn't really into YouTube. I was like, really? You can go on there and talk and people will listen? I can't believe it. Usually people are trying to tell me to shut up.
Right.
Yeah. That is certainly the case in my case, yeah.
Nice. I want to jump into some of these Patreon questions, and then we'll chat a little more, then we'll go into the actual live chat itself. So Matthew Mann, he actually won the cruise we gave away. We got to hang out with him and his brother and his wife, which was really cool. Why don't you guys join together and form an ungodly alliance? Well, I think we kind of are right now.
This will be our origin story easily.
Yeah, we're definitely testing the waters of compatibility right now, aren't we?
But I feel like for a true superhero team up, we have to like do battle first, and then and then realize we're on the same side.
No, you don't truly know someone until you fight that person. So we do need to do battle at some point, and then once we can do that, we can get past it, team up, and take it to the bad guys.
Yeah. We could do like a massive player versus player where we each make the most badass 20th level character we can and see which one of them is left standing after a giant free-for-all.
Oh my god.
Nerd cred.
Oh my god.
I only compete in beard offs.
Yeah, y'all have at it.
Robert Lyons, what if any other system do you enjoy? Would you recommend besides D&D?
Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher. Right now, Cypher. I will recommend it for anything and everything. I love it. I love Numenera as a setting. Haven't had a chance to play the Strange, but I like just the Cypher system itself. I'm also a huge fan of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 1st and 2nd edition, not the abomination that is 3rd.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite systems otherwise.
Cypher, Cypher's great. We just did a flip through for the Expanded Worlds. I had backed the Kickstarter. We had played a Shadowrun game using the Cypher system mechanics.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, we're currently playing a Cypher system game set in Mouse Guard.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty nice. Yeah. It's pretty great.
I've run both Planescape and Star Wars with it. It's my favorite setting. It's my favorite system right now. Would recommend to anyone and everyone.
Especially for DMs. Oh my god.
Yeah, I really dig on Fate Accelerated too. Just as far as I just played a Rogue One game using that a couple of weeks ago, and it's just so easy.
Yeah. I've never run a game before.
The older I get, the more crunch light I get into, the less I want to deal with mechanics and math and thinking.
Yeah, I just don't have time for that.
Yeah, exactly. Who wants to read a 600-page rule book and memorize all the rules?
I mean, as much as I loved making characters in Hero, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
So
couldn't run the game. Barely could play it.
So here's what I'm not really sure about, because I don't know who Neil Grayston is. I don't know who a lot of people are, though. So Fraginator 1369, does Pruitt ever get confused with Neil Grayston in public? Or am I the only one that has to look twice?
I've never been mistaken for Neil Grayson. I'm not sure who that is. You can be assured that I will look that up as soon as I get off this.
Looks like Pruitt.
Yeah.
Nice.
You mean does Neil Grayson look like me?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's your doppelganger.
I've had a couple in my life.
So Joshua Rang would like to know, when considering a race for a new character, do you choose based on the stats or based on the flavor it adds to the character you have in mind?
Jim, you want to go first?
The flavor all the way. How I make characters is entirely based on concept first, and then afterwards I torture the mechanics to fit it.
I flip a coin usually. It depends on how strong my concept is. If I'm just like, I want to play an elf, well then guess what? Whichever one mechanically benefits me more, and I'm gonna play that elf. But it's just kind of at the time of playing. But I will generally pick like the base race, like elf or dwarf or whatever.
Me personally, I believe if you can pretty much play any character concept with a dwarf.
It's always made better by a stunty bearded dwarf.
Yeah,
nude dwarven acrobat.
Absolutely. James Carden wants to know, what archetype would you want to exist in 5e if you didn't have to do any of the work to create it? What's missing?
Oh man.
Oh, a gunslinger.
Yeah, gunslinger. Although Matt Mercer is one that's nice. I would say summoner, some kind of summoner. Like I loved the Malconvoker from 3rd edition, and would like there to be some way that it was easier to do that in 5th.
Yeah, and they're not nearly. I'd have to agree. Some kind of summoner, or the druid animal companion. Like, come on.
Yeah.
One of the things I really liked about 3rd was the druid being able to spontaneously cast Nature's Ally. I totally did a half work that ran around naked and would do the Tarzan call to summon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What more do you need?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was, maybe this is a bit of a tangent, but 3rd edition I have a real love-hate relationship with. I loved it. I dug deep into it. It was the edition I really cut my teeth on, but at the same time, it was an unwieldy beast of a game. And so anything that like reminds me of the sheer ridiculous power that 3rd edition wizards and casters could get, I'm always going to chase down that rabbit hole, for good or bad. For bad.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing like making a caster out of like 7 different books using only 1 feat here and 1 spell there. It was it was a beautiful thing, How
many individual paragraphs can you pull from individual books? Absolutely.
Yeah.
5e made me remember what I missed about AD&D. That and the things and it really kind of like reiterated the things that 3rd edition did that just are bad. Looking in hindsight. When you're in it, you're loving it. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
But when once you've got more retrospect and you've experienced other systems, I definitely 5e is my system now. If I don't go even lighter than that with the rules, 4 pangs or 4 pangs. What's wrong with you people? Which Vala's monstrous races do you like the most and why?
Ooh.
I mean, it's going to be hard not to say the Tabaxi, just because they're kind of ridiculous. And I know Pruitt and I both have a Tabaxi monk in our future somewhere. Maybe we should make them both at the same time.
Dude, I'll make monk and you can make one of your cats.
Absolutely, make Medea.
Yeah. I'll make Isis.
So I like that. I'm not what you would call a furry, but I like anthro shit just because it's fun, right? Like I loved Robin Hood. He did his Disney animated one. Anytime you show me like a cat person or a dog person, I'm like, I want to play that. That's fine. I'll do it.
I love the fact that you have to like preface it. Look, guys, I'm not weird, but
I don't have a fursuit here, guys. But I grew up on Disney cartoons. Of course I love anthropomorphic animals. Come on.
Yeah.
That's actually really tough because there's so many good ones in that book.
There really are, though. Aasimar is fun. I mean, particularly with the 3 varieties of it, I feel like you can get a lot of mileage conceptually out of those. And there's something about the lizard folk that speaks to me, even though I'm trying to figure out how I would use their like cunning artisan, the specific mechanics I can't remember off the top of my head, but don't they get something where they can regain something when they eat someone or something?
Yeah, they get a bite attack, and
yeah,
they have basically like natural armor that they can use. Lizard Man has just always been one of my favorite D&D monsters. I just love the imagery of them in basically first edition, really.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the old deities and demigod book, I can't pronounce the name of their god, but I always love that picture of him with the great club that he's wielding with one hand. He's got the helm on. But yeah, so that book has got so much good stuff. Lizard Folk, Kenko, the Tabaxi, they're all really good. I ran a fan game in Tampa before we went on the cruise, and I had 2 players that showed up and played Tabaxi's brothers together, and they were hilarious, especially because I had them go down into a well where there was a underground lake, and and they were deathly afraid of water.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
They're like, "Did you know?" I'm like, "No, but it does make it better." Last one from the patrons, and then we can chat a little bit or dive into the chat. Scott Monahan, what change would you like to see made to 5e system mechanics?
Just one? Like, that's unfair, man.
Dave,
you only get one.
Dave, how much time do we have for Jim to talk?
Oh, that's why we only gave him one.
Right. I would change. I would add more specificity to the skill rules. Honestly, if I had to change one thing, I think that would clear up, say, all the fuzziness surrounding stealth that I see online, and that we've had to make rulings on at our own table. There's a lot more that I would make to 5th edition. I really do think 5th edition could benefit from an advanced module, a book of more options, more things. I guess Unearthed Arcana is kind of building towards that, but I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on what one thing I would change, but definitely doing something with skills, either making them more specific, what you can do with them, what you can't, decoupling them from abilities. That's kind of what I would change, which is like 8 answers, but deal with it.
Yeah. And since Jim took my answer, which was to flesh out the skill rules, I'm going to go to my second, which is cantrips. Cantrips. Why doesn't everybody have more cantrips? I would be like Oprah with that shit. You get a cantrip, and you get a cantrip, and you get. I know that they expanded. They did add some cantrips in that UA. What was that, a couple weeks ago with the new spells and stuff? But more, because it's kind of paltry and pathetic, kind of. Unless you're.
We actually had a saying in 3rd edition, handing out days like candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do we get our days back?
Yeah.
I mean, particularly, I feel like they could draw from 4th edition for just porting over some of the cantrips. But yeah, I definitely agree. I don't know, particularly the weapon cantrips. I don't know, we could talk about it all day long.
Oh yeah.
See, for me, it's the challenge rating system. For me, it's not a problem, but I know a lot of DMs struggle with the challenge rating. Me, I've been doing this for a while, so I can eyeball it and go, yeah, this will be a good encounter. Perfect example I've probably talked about, and these guys are probably tired of hearing about, but I ran an encounter that was like 90-some thousand XP budget, and it was an okay fight for the party, and I knew that's what it would be. But because there was a bunch of zombies running around for flavor, a couple hellhounds to be annoying, and then the main bad was a Death Knight riding a nightmare. The party was 12th level. I knew I was going to hurt them real bad with the hellish orb, and then they were going to probably gang rape my monsters, and that's exactly what happened. It scared them.
Yeah, definitely the challenge rating. I guess my mind was elsewhere, but I struggle with the challenge rating system when I try to use it, and then I just stop using it, and the game runs fine. So I figured it out when we were running Rise of Tiamat, and at one point I foolishly had 2 dragons swooping in, and it was like an open field. The party had just gotten off a boat. They were in like a lightly wooded area, and it included like a ranged warlock, a hunter ranger, like a strong ranged party. I had 2 dragons swooping in. I didn't have them take the dodge action. I didn't have them have any kind of cover, and they just got decimated. They were like, one of them died before it even got within 300 feet of the party. And then the other had to bug out of there because they were just like, shit, my dragon blade. And that was that. After that, I was like, every dragon comes with 2 red wizards. Just that they just will. Every dragon has a potion pouch that it's just chugging from before the fight. And I just realized, I was like, yeah, whatever's going on in 5th edition, you can't trust the CR rating. That should have been a nasty encounter for the party. But yeah, I stopped using it after that. And the game ran fine.
I feel like Volo's guide gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Monster Manual and the whole system's kind of wonky. Like, because the way that multiplier works, it doesn't matter what they are; they just add to the multiplier, even if it makes sense or not.
Right.
Like, like I put monsters in there, and you just know they're going down in 1 hit, but they would still add to the multiplier.
Yeah.
So do you guys? Let's see. Someone asked. It's right in front. There it goes. How the hell? I can't read, guys. Don't mind me.
That's all right.
Kaya Burnett, do you guys allow Aarakocra in your game? And I'm just going to go randomly grab questions as I see them.
Yeah, why not? I mean, because I'm assuming because of the flight speed, a lot of DMs are. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I would allow them in my games. I they're an interesting. It's an animal person, so I'm automatically for it.
And besides, if you want to be that one person who's always flying and a nice open target out in the middle of nothing for all the bad guys, ranged henchmen to shoot at, you go right ahead, buddy. You go right ahead.
It's the best place for a sleep spell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So some GMs are just wusses. So that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
No balls. But yeah, I pretty much anything. What, you want to play a lore wizard? Go for it. Whatever. I got all these books. If it was really, if it's really a peeing contest, I have all these books and I get to make up the rules. So
right.
I'm not overly concerned. Flathagen, with all the Chaos Sorcerer hate out there, if you had the power to add, alter one ability to fix it, what would it be? We actually did make a change. How do you guys feel about the Chaos Sorcerer?
I would remove the line that says the DM may allow you to use Tides of Chaos. And it would just be like, remove the DM entirely from that. You get to use Tides of Chaos as often as you want. You get to roll on that table in exchange for advantage. That'd be the one change I would make.
So that's not bad. What I've actually done that. I said, don't ask me. The next time you cast a spell, just roll on the table.
Yeah, that's how I would run it. I haven't had anybody try to play a Chaos Sorcerer, but I would let them hang themselves with as much of that rope as they want.
That, and we changed their Tides of I think it's Tides of Chaos or something like, or Bend Luck. Their Bend Luck ability was like spend 2 sorcerer points, get a D4. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we changed that to match Bardic Inspiration.
Nice.
Because the 2 points is really a high cost for a D4, where you have to be really close to even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see that totally.
But thematically, like it's my favorite sorcerer.
It's the most generic sorcerer we have. Reading through the class description of it, you could be raised by Fae or born during or whatever. So it's not like tied to any kind of theme other than just pure unadulterated magic. So in that respect, I really like it. I just hear a lot of people don't.
Staff writer Doug's weighing in with Sumanya. I don't even know how you would say that. Is the lizard folk god? I don't know if he knew it or Googled it.
Doing the good work.
Right.
Yeah. So trying to sift through all the chat, because a lot of times they just talk at each other as well as ask questions.
Yeah. Hey.
So while I'm sifting through here, why don't you guys start our roll call? So it's something we do with every live chat. Is we just like to see where people are chiming in from. What countries are out there.
Yeah.
So it's always pretty cool. We got Jersey, Vermont, and Texas in the house today, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas here.
I've been to Austin once, so I'd definitely like to get back there.
You should. We have tacos.
You have tacos.
I don't know if you've ever heard that, but Austin has tacos.
Queso.
We enjoy them. We enjoy tacos and queso. Sometimes you dip the queso or dip the taco in the queso.
Nice. I'm in. Sign me up. I'm a fat guy. I like to eat.
Hey, then there's
Doug
plenty.
actually had Dee and Demigod on hand. Good man. Good man.
Nice.
Hey.
Kyle coming to it. Our intern Kyle coming from Jersey. Although our not lawyer says we shouldn't really call him our intern. Doug's in Cleveland.
So the not lawyer says you're not going to call him an intern. Okay.
So we shouldn't call him an intern legally. Funny Mouth, North Cali. We got Atlanta, Canada in the house. Arizona, New York, Wales, Washington, UK, Michigan, Texas, New York City, Western Australia, Arkansas, which is Arkansas because I can't talk. St. Peters, Florida, Iowa, Cali, Canada, Ohio, Massachusetts, Scotland.
Wait, do we also have your Kansas or just Arkansas? Okay.
Just Arkansas.
Arkansas, just Arkansas.
Okay.
Northwest Canada, Sweden, Alberta, Canada, Utah, Colorado Springs, Kentucky, Toronto, Cincinnati, Finland, Denmark, Romania. That might be the first Romania.
Sweet.
I'm not quite sure.
When I was an RA in college, my co-RA in the same dorm was Romanian, and he was there for the fall of communism. He said it was rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully it's better now. I'm not sure. I heard Wales in there. Wales is an amazing place to go to if you ever want to be inspired to like run D&D. Just castles everywhere.
I have not been very far out of the States. I've been to Costa Rica, and that. Well, I guess Mexico too. On the cruise, we hit Mexico, but we were only there for a couple hours. I don't know if that even counts. We got Oregon, we got Budapest, Jacksonville, Louisiana, Philly.
All over.
Here's actually a pretty good question. Content-wise, will WebDM be doing anything non-D&D on their channel? Oh my God, can you do that?
Yeah, actually, yes, we've got some stuff coming up that will be non-D&D. We're trying to. We still want to tie it into and make it relevant to our D&D viewers. But yeah, we like other games, and we always envision the channel as being a place where we talk about all the things RPG related that we like.
It's tough. You guys only do one show a week. It's hard to get it all in.
Yeah.
So much to cover. We even got Maze Arcana in the house, coming from Eberron, my guess. Nice. Satine and Rudy over there. Thanks for checking in, guys. Oh, we just got a super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Sweet.
My kids appreciate that too. And then it disappeared on me. Sorry, guys. I'm really new at this.
Oh, it's all good.
And it says behind me, they didn't even ask a good question. Look out, sucker. Oh, man. Argentina. Dang, you guys are all over the place.
Jeez.
Nice.
So, which is really awesome. So what's coming up on WebDM? What do you guys got planned? You got anything?
Man, we shoot them in these big chunks, and so it's one of the benefits of that for me is that I have every week I'm surprised by what comes out. Like when we film like 8 episodes at a time, I'm like, I don't remember what happened, what I said. So when you get to watch it every week, I'm like, wow, what a great show! I can't believe I said that. We've got some more monster stuff coming up. Maybe Pruitt, maybe you have a better idea of what we got coming.
Well, I do know that we've been kind of the last few weeks. It's been a loose collection of kind of dungeon design.
Yes.
So we've done like traps and design and mimics and other things in dungeons. So I know that we got another monster show. I think it might be oozes, jellies, slime, stuff like that. I think that's this week.
Yeah, that's right.
We do have another system that we did talk about last time. I'll just say that we have another system. And it might or might not have already been mentioned in this live chat. I cannot neither confirm nor deny that. But
wait a minute. Warhammer 3rd edition.
It's exact. We talk about Warhammer 3rd edition, and then we talk about Exalted 3rd edition. No.
Sorry, no.
Never even looked at the book, so I'll go ahead and squash that. But yeah, so we have that coming up, and I know we're about to get together here in a few weeks and shoot a whole new batch of shows on my birthday weekend. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
And
how many videos do you guys batch at a time? Your videos are a little bit longer, so
yeah,
that's a work day, man.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Normally we shoot like maybe 7, 8, or 9. Last time, because Jim moved up to Vermont, we needed to get a few months worth of content. So I think we shot 15 total shows
across 2 days. Yeah,
in 2 days. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of a slog. And especially especially last time, because I slept wrong on my neck last time, and literally we'd been planning this for a couple of months, and I wake up the morning and I can't move my head. I literally can't move my head, and I'm in agony. And I'm just like, Jim, he got plane tickets. He paid for them. He's flown in here. We're already here, and I can barely move my head, and I'm having an awful time. And I'm just looking around at my friends going, yeah, they hate me. Everyone hates me right now.
You should have just put a great helm on him, so this way it wouldn't be so weird.
Yeah, I could actually point you. I think it was like Rangers. Like we finished our Rangers show. You go back and look. I asked Jim a question, and then I stare into the middle distance, because that's all the effort that I could put forth. But luckily, Trav's very understanding. He let me take a nap while he straightened some stuff out. Everything was fine after that. We had a great shoot. It was awesome.
Oh my God, though, 15 videos. You guys are doing 20, 30 minutes at a time. Fuck.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Did you not want to put a pistol in your mouth by the time you were done? Like, I love D&D and I love YouTubing, but I've done those long shoots, and I swear to God, when I do them, I want to kill myself afterwards.
It's a rough few days. Yeah.
I only want to after the fact. I actually like once we get going, because then we're in the zone and we get really comfortable with it. You can always tell, like, it's amazing. Like, all of our best shows are the show that was like 4th, 5th, or 6th on that shooting day, because by then we're lubed up and ready to go, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, engines moving. Anyway, so it's all in how you handle it or whatever. But yes, when I'm done at the end of the day, I just want to put my head through a wall.
Yeah. No, I totally feel you. I totally feel you there. When you're in it, you're in the zone and you're doing your thing. But at the end, you just feel like you went 12 rounds with Tyson. So
exactly.
Like, oh
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You've been sitting down all day. Your legs don't really work. Your kidneys have almost stopped functioning.
Brain is mush.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done more than, I think one time we did like 10 videos in one day, and our videos are much shorter. So, it's not as bad, but it makes for an intense work day. So I can definitely appreciate that. And your fans should as well. You guys are putting life and limb on the line for them.
For health. Well-being.
Oh man. So Aradas, does WebDM plan to keep doing the Unearthed Arcana stuff? Are you guys through all that? Well, the problem is they keep putting out more.
Well, they keep at least they're doing once a month now instead of once a week. So there were some technical issues with our Sunday night show, both in terms of our audio quality and weirdness with like when the Google Hangouts switches between cameras. I don't know exactly that we've settled on a solution for that. I would love to finish that series before abandoning the Sunday show, but now we're kind of talking production. I don't know. We'd have to rope Trav to get a full answer.
I know that me and Trav have discussed this. I don't know how much I can say. What we have talked about basically is maybe switching over to a podcast instead of a YouTube live thing, so that we can just deal with the audio, and that's the only thing we really deal with. So but it was just an extra headache. A lot of it was an extra headache for Travis, and it was starting to affect the release of our Wednesday shows. Yeah. Like when they would come out, because he's trying to do this thing in the middle of the week. And so it was just conflicting issues. And
we wanted to talk about things other than Unearthed Arcana as well. We're wanting to use the Sunday show as a place to talk about different things, not just whatever had come out that week or the week before. So yeah, maybe not a satisfying answer, but there you go.
I can imagine it's got to be tough, for your audience because they're used to high production value with all your videos,
Right.
and then when you do something like this, you get what you get. Like, how's the internet connection that day? Is
Right.
YouTube throttling the bandwidth or something? You just never know. Did someone hit a power line down the road? But for us, we got a little easier because I remember our old time fans, they remember when our equipment was like breaking down and all of our videos are like bad kung fu dubbing. So
you said you rolled initiative before me.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle, let's see, wait a minute, let me see who has, it's Jack Dolan. How do you guys handle firearms in the game, both thematically and mechanically?
If I was doing them in 5th edition, I would just probably use the rules from DMG and not, for whatever reason, people are perfectly fine with the abstract equipment and weapons when it comes to swords and bows and armor. But when you throw guns in the mix, they want to get hyper realistic about it. And it's just like nothing else about D&D weapons and armor is anywhere close to realistic. They do a die damage difference and take a long time to reload. It's like a bigger crossbow.
Right. I mean, when I'm the one, and I know Jim wouldn't say this, but I'm the one that always wants to play the gunslinger because I grew up on westerns and stuff. But I mean, the thing is I've been there when arguments have broken out. It's like, but this is a gun. What if I should be able to kill him in like one shot? And it's like, well, yeah, you should be able to do that with an arrow too, and we don't do that every time we shoot our bow. So hey. when this is D&D where you come out of a battle with looking like a pincushion because you got shot with like 13 arrows, anyway, same difference to me. Maybe it does a little more damage, but.
So Staff Writer Scott, he's always going to throw these zingers out there. Actually, he's being kind today. He's being kind today because he did add, my favorite question that he's asked so far of Matt Colville was, who do you believe Gary Gygax's spiritual successor is? So this is a little tame in comparison. Do you think high crunch over fluff changes the type of players a game is capable of attracting, or does it attract in high numbers? I don't know. The last part seems like it's missing some words.
Yeah, so it sounds like does the rule system of a game attract what kind of people who play it? And I would say yes. I've hung out with GURPS players before and have even attempted to play with them, and they're a different breed of player than say 3rd edition D&D people or White Wolf people or Fate people, or everybody has their favorite game. The people that are really weird are like into Palladium, riffs, but I think so. I think if you have if there's a high crunch ratio of the game, if there's a lot of rules that you have to learn, if there's a lot of traps that you have to avoid in order to make an effective character, then that's going to impact the type of people who are willing to sit down with all the rule books and suss it out. And I much prefer low crunch, high flavor games. I just hate the terms crunch, fluff.
And especially when you're dealing with a game like, say, the Book of Erotic Fantasy. I mean, you don't want any kind of crunch or any fluffing going on if you're dealing with that group.
No.
All I'm going to say to that.
Or fatal.
Sorry.
Maze
Arcana is commiserating with you guys over the live shows and live streaming.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, like I said, put me in front of a camera and I'll do whatever you want. I love it. I'll be honest, it's about the attention. It is. The fact that people listen to us talk about D&D is amazing to me. I would never have guessed.
Mind blowing.
And so I wish we could get online every day and hang out and talk, but life gets in the way. Life.
You got a couple
way.
people digging on the idea of the podcast.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best thing that we've come up with thus far, because we're getting ready to launch a website, and that way we can have a connection to that and kind of make our internet, like, kind of social media footprint a little bigger. instead of adding another YouTube show, we're going to add a podcast with the thing. And so just try to get as many people in from different aspects of the internet, or, anyway. So yeah, that's the front runner right now for replacing the Sunday show.
So here's an off the wall one for you. Travis Flowers, would you allow players to be a mind flayer or something like a lesser illithid?
Oh, geez.
Depends on what kind of game it is.
I mean, are we talking like an evil game? Man, that's a tough one right there, Jim. You're the more experienced DM.
I would, depending on the kind of game, I would, just because, like, if I would, like, say, if I was running a high concept Spelljammer game, like Pruitt ran a Spelljammer game last year, it was a blast, and we hope to get some more information for our fans out there about that. But if I was to run it, I'd be like, sure, why not? You're already sailing the astral sea, but I would definitely, in the same way that when I let one of my players play a vampire, I would either spread out the abilities over over a different number of levels, or make them take feats in order to unlock them. But I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun role-playing challenge for the player. Can they play a mind flayer in a way that's convincing and fun and interesting? And then when you get down to it, what is a mind flayer? It's it's a death attack if they manage to grapple, but they're not particularly strong, and they have a psychic blast attack, which a regular character can get. There's any number of ways to replicate it. So I'd let them play it.
Yeah, pretty the same way, whatever, as long as it's relevant to whatever the game is, like you said, essentially. Yeah. And it can work with the party in a way that's going to be conducive to actually playing the game.
Yeah,
you can pretty much make anything work. So Mike Knudsen would love to see a crossover for our two groups playing, with one of us running and then vice versa, and then kind of like doing a post-mortem afterwards of the two different play styles.
Mm-hmm. So we want to whip out our DMs and see whose is bigger? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what they want.
Is the answer to that question yes?
But so like, one, I would love to, play in those games. That'd be way cool. But one, like, I feel like as the player, it's your responsibility to kind of find the fun. So, DMs are going to DM different, and there's different play styles. So go and enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
I largely feel the same way, that it's how you approach the game, which is why I think that, like, your how you approach the people that you play with and how you interact with them is going to be more important than the setting you're playing in, the rules you're using, anything else. If you show up to be a team player, to find some way to enjoy the game and to just not be a dick, then you're going to have fun. The games are designed to be fun. They're not. No game designer sits down and be like, man, I can't wait to piss off all these people with this rule set. I hope they just hate this thing when they sit down to play. I'd love to get together and do some gaming. I think that'd be fun. I know on my end, the Razzle Sin live games that we've played have been beasts to prepare for. And so I personally am a little daunted by running a game, if only from the prep work side. But at the same time, I take that challenge and say, like, well, maybe I could do it. It'd be fun. I would defer to Jim on our end, just because I'm not that good of a DM, so I wouldn't even claim to be. But going back to having fun, setting that the DM has provided and making some inside that. Be that player that's always like do something so outside the box, insane, that where the DM has to like create a whole thing just to fit you in, right? And then the other thing is give the DM some wit to work to this, a backstory that's worth a shit. And that's how you have fun, or at least that's how I have. It's yourself into the story from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, you got to come to play. Like the snowflakes that have these special missions that have nothing to do with the rest of the party. It's like at this point in the game, I'll just be like, all right, well, you're doing your thing, and we're playing the game over here. Have fun.
Yeah, I've spent too much time trying to make sure those players feel included to ever want to do that again.
Yeah, there is like zero return on that investment.
Yes.
Garrett Hill, how do you guys feel about Elder Gods players wanting to fight that? Fucking squish them.
Yeah, I mean, Elder Gods and the players wanting to fight them. I'm assuming like Azathoth and Cthulhu, and I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of game you're running. But for the most part, at the very least, someone should die.
Yeah.
And I think basically, if you're trying to fight something like that, then you know, if you're trying to fight them in combat, then you might be approaching it from the wrong perspective.
Yeah, you gotta do what Doctor Strange did. You gotta trap them.
Gotta trap them. Yes, trick them.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when people talk about that stuff. It's like they seem to be fans of the genre, but it's like, do you understand? They don't seem to understand the genre at the same time. Do you read those books?
Right.
Nothing good ever happens to the heroes.
No, they go crazy and either kill someone or kill themselves or just die.
Yeah. And sometimes they're the lucky ones.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that just go crazy and wander off in the wilderness are the lucky ones.
Cody Ace asks, have any of you guys played the Apocalypse rule set? I've actually never played Apocalypse rule set. I would really like to. I guess that's like Dungeon World.
Okay, I have not yet.
It's on my list. I think that's one of the early front runners for the rules light, lots of player agency style games.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with them. They're talking about like Zombie World and or not Zombie World, but all those that are like the end of the world type scenarios.
No, it's actually a rule set. Dungeon World is actually the first game to use that rule set, and then it's been used for other things as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. I've flipped through it in the gaming store before, but I have my rules light systems, and I no longer have the time or funds to just buy up everything and play it. So I'm pretty selective with what I game with now.
Yeah, well, time is the huge thing. I play everything, honestly. I don't mind being a player in almost anything. Now, what I will run, I'm a little more choosier. So it's funny you should ask this, Maze Arcana, because we were actually talking about this a little bit before we got started. But what they would like to know is, does WebDM like Eberron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I followed it. The creation, the contest that led up to Eberron, followed it pretty closely. Bought all the books. I've run a couple of Eberron games and played in a couple of them. I love the setting. I like that it's tailor-made for 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons, which is a particular type of D&D. I don't know that I didn't play any of the 4th edition Eberron, so I'm not sure how well it translated between 3rd and 4th edition. And I'm skeptical that they could do it justice in 5th, if only because I think 5th it's a different system. The assumptions of the system are different. What you can do with it is different than 3rd. But I love the setting and would shoehorn it into just about any system I could just to play in the setting.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with our 3rd edition game that we played in Eberron.
So
I played a gunslinger. It was great.
Nice. So I will say Eberron is really the only system that I ever really ran a campaign in that wasn't homebrew. But when 5th edition first came out, I actually ran, I believe, 3 or 4. I believe it was 4 one-shots in Eberron, and they were kind of like some of the same characters reappeared. And I found the key to running that wasn't so much based off of the mechanics, but the style of game you run. Right. Like Eberron's very noir-y, and it's like even when the good guys win, they kind of lose anyway. It is like I felt like that was the way to capture that feeling of Eberron.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot about the kind of themes that you bring into it. To me, Eberron's a very modern setting, unlike, say, Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk or some of the other explicitly fantasy ones. Like, there's a lot of concepts that exist in Eberron that I think we'd understand. Breland is a parliamentary democracy, that kind of thing. And I think you can do more with the setting in that respect. And I've always wanted to run a game of like political intrigue and spies, but set in Eberron. Thronehold specifically.
Yeah, my favorite is Sharn. I just love the concept. Monster Ghetto. They really came out with some really great novels, and it was the end of an era too, because after that, Wizards of the Coast novels, in my opinion, just tanked.
Really, I never had a chance to read any of the Eberron novels.
Well, and that's kind of like why it was a little bit easier for me, I guess, running those games, because I was inspired not just by the system and the campaign setting, but the novels as well.
Cool, cool.
So, Aradaz has another question. How would you guys run a game for the Dresden setting? Well, one, there's actually a Fate Dresden Files game, so you could literally just do that. We've used Masters, Mutants and Masterminds, and Nerdarchy Ted has actually run a game for us using that system. Are you guys fans of Dresden Files?
First off, we're huge fans of Dresden Files. I love it. I love the setting. I love the characters. I own the setting book for the RPG, but not the rule book, the Our World book for it, just because I don't know, love.
You're a gamer, and that's kind of the thing we do sometimes.
Right. I just was like, oh, I got $50. I'll just buy it. Could have done a lot of things with that money. So I would probably use the actual rule system for it. I just go ahead, learn it. If I wasn't, if I wasn't going to do that, then I would probably use Cypher, because that's just the kind of person I am.
Yeah, huge fan here also. I don't think there's as far as a book series, like starting so small and just every book just expanding the world in a perfectly balanced way, where just the world gets that much bigger and that much bigger, and the stakes go up every book. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, the character development, soup to nuts. The whole thing is great. Yeah, Jim Butcher does a real good job of making you really love the characters.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just, God damn it, Jim Butcher, where's Peace Talks? I'm still waiting for that friggin' thing, forever.
Yeah, where's that next one at?
I've been trying to track him down to see if I couldn't get him to come on the show, but he's been quite elusive. Him and Matt Mercer, because the fans are like, "Hey, why don't you get so and so, or why don't you get so and so?" I'm like, "Yeah, let me just go pull them out of my." They're just waiting for me to call them.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you guys email them and tweet at them and let them know that I exist first? Then maybe they'll think about it.
Right.
Let's see. This might be the one. Okay, this might be part of what you were talking about. So yes, they've played the Warhammer systems. They hate 3rd edition. We know this. Or costs X. But they want to know about Fantasy Flight Star Wars. Have you guys checked that out?
I have not.
I have not. I have read the Alexandrian's review of it, and his Justin Alexander's review of the dice mechanic of the Fantasy Flight Star Wars games was enough to make me go, I have my own Star Wars game. It was called West End, and I will dust off those books and play that if I want to play Star Wars. I have no interest in rolling fistfuls of custom proprietary dice that I then have to piece together like an omen to figure out what happened. I just don't. No, thank you.
I love your description of it. I actually have played it, and I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it. I bought a bunch of. I got a satchel of the dice somewheres now. I dropped like $50-$60 on, but and because you can't just have one set of dice either. You need a bunch of them.
Of course.
And oh man. And Fantasy Flight Games is prolific with putting out those Star Wars games. Like, they're getting a lot of mileage out of that license.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, and the people that like it, more power to them. I love their 40K line of RPGs, and have run games in multiple Dark. Was it Dark Heresy? Got a Rogue Trader game.
Yeah.
Got my back pocket. But anything that has proprietary dice, I just am like, I don't know. It's what's kept me off of Dungeon Crawl Classics, honestly. Otherwise, I'd love to run a game of Dungeon Crawl Classics, but I just don't have a D7, a D5, but I do have a D30. Who knows?
I don't know. One of the in the chat here, someone there's way too many vowels in this name, but Mikal Brunette, Matt Mercer has commented at least on one of your video reviews, either a blood singer or blood hunter. So he knows you exist. Maybe. How do we know that was really the real Matt Mercer?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that happened.
Videos about the blood hunter?
No, he's talking about ours, I think, because
okay.
we've done them. Yeah,
I get you. Yeah, I was gonna say I never know. Yeah,
like did Travis retitle something we did. That's funny, but no, I do actually know a couple people that know Matt Mercer. It's just he's super busy, and he's gone into reclusion because the problem with Matt Mercer is he's a super nice guy and he can't say no. So the only thing he can do now is hide from the world. He needs sanctuary. He's like Quasimodo in the bell tower.
Have to reaffirm that hermit background. So.
Yep.
Oh my God! And then in last July, he replied to us on a tweet. I know, but now I cannot get a hold of him. No. He's a busy guy. But we got WebDM, so who needs Matt Mercer?
Hey, your words, not ours.
Yeah, there you go. But no, hey, it's great. So we only have a few more minutes left, guys. If you have any questions you want to pump out, or if you guys have anything you want to talk about, now is the time to do it.
Is there anything that I want to talk about? Gosh, I don't know. I mean, we've got some stuff coming up over the summer that I'm pretty excited about. I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to be looking sort of at the history of D&D and ways that people who are newcomers to D&D, like 5th edition is their first edition. What's the value of prior editions for them? Why would they want to go back? I was one of those guys where a few years ago, I played a little bit of 2nd edition right at the end of high school and mostly 3rd. But a few years ago, I was like, what were the original editions like? Original, basic, etc. And played a ton of them and just absolutely fell in love with Little Brown Book original D&D. It's a game, it's a system that's weird and quirky. And I think anyone who's a fan of Dungeons and Dragons owes it to themselves to track down the Little Brown Books. They're online. I think you can get them on DM's Guild and buy them there. And just play some original Dungeons and Dragons and see what that's like. And so we're going to be talking a bit about that, how you can incorporate that into some elements of original D&D into 5th edition. And so I'm excited about that. We're filming those, and hopefully they'll come out over the summer, barring some kind of weird disaster or collapse of civilization. They should be available for fans.
Nuclear war, whatever.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of fun. We kind of did like a series where we just pulled out all the old books and not like in depth like what you're talking about, just like what that meant to us and kind of like a nostalgia thing. Asking for the WebDM Nerdarchy team up for the game, which would be a lot of fun. So and also staff writer Doug had asked a question. You want to know if you guys appear at any cons or will be showing up at any cons in the near future.
That is the hope. That's the next thing we really want to get on is start showing up at the cons, let people see us, see the fans, try to get on some panels, do the whole 9. I mean, that is our next step. We haven't yet, but
I want to throw something out here, and I've talked about it before in one of our weekly live chats. One of the things I want to do is I want to put together a con with WebDM, maybe Dawnforge Cast, maybe DM Scotty, some of us like mid-level range YouTubers. Like we're not Geek and Sundry, but we got more than 2 subscribers, and do like a RPG super YouTuber convention with some with us all running panels, doing some panels together, mixing and matching. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be great. For me, my convention experience is pretty much limited to Wizard World. So I've never actually been to a large gaming convention before. I've been to a couple. Chupacabra Con is one I've been to. There are a couple of local ones in Austin that I would go to, but I would love to go. I would love to play with some of our fans, person to person, not necessarily online. I would love to wax idiotic about any topic in particular, just to talk and yammer on.
It's an eye-opener for you?
Yeah.
I'll say that. We did Phillies game cons a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
we were much smaller then. And some of the fans that showed up for the game were like 11 or 12, and I'm like, oh, we really should watch what we say.
Yeah.
And then the father's there. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Don't you pay attention to what your children watch?
No.
Why are you mad at me for your bad parenting? Shit.
yeah. And it was really cool. And the son and the father were in the game, and and there were some other people, and they're like, yeah, we came to this con to play in your game, and I was like, wow, I was totally blown away. Nate the Nerdarch was at a urinal, and a fan comes up to him. You need to go out to these things so you can have these experiences too.
Yeah.
You're holding your piece, and some guy's trying to shake your hand. Special.
Right.
That's right. I've gotten recognized at a Tribe Comics and Games in Austin a couple times, and Pruitt has some stories of being recognized at the Ren Fest. So it's fun. It's definitely it catches you off guard when it happens. So a convention, I think, would be a great place to just rip that Band-Aid right off, have some fun with our fans.
Yeah, that seems like the place that, if you went to a gaming convention, you should be recognized if you have a certain amount of followers on your gaming YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, because I've only ever been to Comic-Con in San Diego. That's the only cons I've ever been to. And there's very small gaming, but it's mostly video.
Yeah, I'm going to Origins. It'll be my first time there. I have very limited experience as well, guys. But I'm going to Origins for the first time in a couple months. The staff writer Doug twisted my arm and convinced me, and then I'm going to Gen Con, and I got press passes to both, so that's kind of cool. It's like, I feel like I made it somewheres. Although Gen Con, I might be sleeping in my car. So we got a lot of people on this live chat, guys. If any of you are going to Gen Con and you want to have a Nerdarchy sleep in your room, yeah.
We'll DM for a place to bed down.
Bed.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely run a game for some floor space. That sounds like a fair trade to me. Don't think I'll go easy on you though.
Yeah, but if they throw in a couch, you should at least let them start out with like a magic item or something.
Maybe. That wounds me deeply. I've been accused of being a bit of a stingy GM.
Oh, you're one of those. Oh,
yeah, that's right. I want them to make sure they feel like that +1 dagger is special. They're like naming it. They're like, wow, like other people come into the game for the first time, and they're like, they mention the name of their dagger. Like, what does it do? Oh, it's just a +1 dagger. He never gets magic items. It's so special.
Oh man!
So I'm gonna release you guys.
Right.
And let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I can sit here and talk to you guys for hours and just keep going. And I'm sure they would keep watching too. Maybe we'll do a marathon or something for charity in the future. Who knows?
That'd be sweet.
See who goes the longest before they're having to take the first bathroom break.
Yeah, something like that. But no, I really do appreciate you guys coming out today. It was fun. Man. So with that, until next time, guys, stay nerdy. Oh, and by the way, in the descriptions, all the links to WebDM in case you didn't know who they were.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You don't know us?